Wow. Undefeated fighter Shakur Stevenson gets dropped from the WBC. I'm coming for the #1 spot. And in a shocking turn of events, Vasily Lomachenko, coming directly off of a loss to Devin Haney over the course of 12 rounds, gets bumped up to the #1 spot. That's what I will talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing, best in the business. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram at BoxingEgo1, you would already know this. But for those who only follow me on YouTube, I suggest you follow me on my other social medias. But the WBC has released new rankings since Lomachenko fought Devin Haney, which was a recent fight. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss a thing. And the WBC has removed Shakur Stevenson. They dropped him from the #1 spot. And instead, coming off of a loss, they have placed Lomachenko like as if the Devin Haney loss has no implications or no effect. And Lomachenko is the #1 person in the WBC lightweight 135-pound rankings. What does Ego, the best in the business, have to say about this? Is garbage. Why on earth would the WBC see fit to leave Lomachenko in the #1 spot directly off of a loss? I get that, old media and fans are saying, oh, Devin should have lost and stuff. The 3 judges that were appointed the dubious task of judging this fight scored it for Devin Haney, unanimous decision. So in boxing scoring, it's like when a referee says that was a knockdown. You have to score it in accordance to what that referee said. Whether you didn't think it was a knockdown, you preferred it as a slip, it don't matter. If we're being fair, the rules are the rules. Similarly, in fights like, let's say, Terrence Crawford versus Mean Machine. Terrence Crawford got dropped by Mean Machine. I know it, you know it. The referee missed it, so you can't dock Terrence Crawford on points if you were the actual judge of that particular fight based on this missed and blown call. I think all sports are like this. If the referees call it a technical foul or give you free throw, that's in regulation. It is what it is. If they say it's a touchdown and then they review it and the ruling on the field stands in football, it's a touchdown. You can't say, oh, my team really won based on, I don't think that should have been a touchdown. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I said that to say this. Only in the sport of boxing do you see this, where the judges have Devin Haney winning a close fight. 2 of the 3 judges, at least, their cards were closer. Basically 1 round away from a draw, 115-113, I think it was, right? And it's like old media wants to give Lomachenko this reprieve and keep him on the pedestal and uplift him and make him feel better. So the WBC is keeping him in the #1 spot. I mean, it's crazy. How is he in the #1 spot? You had a shot at Devin Haney and you came up short. You lost. You didn't make it. You didn't make your case convincing enough. Meanwhile, you got an undefeated fighter like Shakur Stevenson. Although he only has 1 fight at lightweight, he's a multi-division champion, undefeated, and everyone he fights, he's pretty much blowing them out of the water. So you see old media constantly trying to pass out participation trophies for the fighters that they love, the old media darlings, right? And I'd be hard-pressed to believe that if the roles were reversed and Vasily Lomachenko was the undisputed champion, that in the close fight, if Devin Haney lost, let's just say hypothetically, the judges said he lost, I highly doubt the WBC would keep him ranked as the #1. It's not like he did another fight and worked his way back up the ladder. They're ranking Lomachenko off of a loss. This is crazy. You got a guy like Lomachenko and he keeps fumbling where he had the titles, lost him to Teofimo Lopez fair and square, thought he lost to Jermaine Ortiz, And, you know, off of Nakatani and Komei fights and a robbery win over Jermaine Ortiz that old media doesn't really point out, he gets the Devin Haney opportunity and he loses that too. Lomachenko in 20 fights has 3 losses. Listen to what I'm saying. There's no one, especially a black fighter. There's never been a fighter in history, let alone a black fighter. I can assure you, you cannot think of one black fighter that came in the game with 20 fights, 3 losses, arguably 4 if you include the Jermaine Ortiz fight. 1 win over Gary Russell, which was a split decision. So he should have 3 or 4 losses on his record. On his record, he actually has 3, and he only has 20 fights. There's no one that's been celebrated and babied more than Lomachenko with that type of record. Guys like Canelo even, he went 40-something fights before he took his first loss to Floyd Mayweather. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., he went, 60-something fights before he took his first ever loss, and so on and so forth. Lomachenko can't even get to 20 fights without a loss, and he's taking it like a sore loser, and you have old media and the WBC trying to make him feel good and keep him ranked. And then you got guys like Shakur Stevenson. These guys work their way up. Shakur's calling out everybody in sight. He says he wants all the smoke. Tank, Devin Haney, he would love to fight Lomachenko. He said he'll fight Pitbull Cruz. He said he will fight Jermaine Ortiz, I believe. And the list goes on and on and on. And has to wait for Devin Haney to potentially move up to 140 to maybe fight Lomachenko because they dropped him to the number 2 spot and he's undefeated. So the WBC, with the franchise title, they try to save Lomachenko and Canelo and Estrada. It's never been given to a black fighter, the franchise title. And they keep doing little things to Lomachenko to try to help him give it his way. He's 35 years old roughly, and he's had opportunities at titles and he came up short. He's had opportunities to keep titles and he came up short. He had an opportunity to fight Kambosos and he decided to go a different route for his country, and, you can celebrate that, but that's his decision. He made this decision, and Kambosos obviously would have probably been an easier fight for him than the Devin Haney fight based on the styles. So how much longer are we going to continue to baby Lomachenko in the sport of boxing at age 35, 20 fights, 3 losses, and instead of just giving guys like Shakur Stevenson the number 1 spot and letting this new generation, this new crop of fighters, the Keyshawn Davises, the Frank Martins, yada, 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 those guys elevate and ascend in the sport of boxing because they look like they will be the ones to take over the lightweight division. Right now is Gervonta Davis. He's at the top of the totem pole, A side. Then you have also Devin Haney, who's undisputed. So he's the high up guy. And Lomachenko, he looks pretty much, for all intents and purposes, he looks like he's on the way out. WBC still trying to rank him, mind-boggling. And it's all under this pretense that Lomachenko won or should have won or whatever, but the judges scored it. They're commissioned to do a job. A lot of people, there's people who think Devin Haney should have won the fight, and it was a close fight. Lomachenko didn't make enough of a splash to get the thing. That's on him, really. Now, I'm the best in the business. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be talking about this a lot more. Subscribe, and I'm out.